Before you pay another £500 this month for basic social media posts, watch this. Tested HighLevel's AI to see if it could help create the graphics, captions, hashtags, and scheduling workflow inside one dashboard. And this is the bit that matters. A lot of businesses are not just paying for strategy every month. They're paying for the boring, repetitive admin that comes with staying active online. Quick note before we start. If you want to try HighLevel, don't use the standard 14-day trial. I'll leave the 30-day trial and free bootcamp link below so you get more time to follow along, get live help, and test one real business workflow before you pay. Post ideas, graphics, captions, hashtags, uploading, scheduling, then doing the same thing again next week. The problem is not creating one post. The problem is having to repeat the whole process every single week. So I started inside HighLevel and gave the AI a clear prompt. I included the type of business, what kind of posts I wanted, and what the content needed to do. One useful part is that you can give it the business website, so it is not starting completely from scratch. It can look at the services, wording, offers, and business context before creating the first draft. Once I sent the prompt, HighLevel started building the content. This is where it begins working through the post ideas, graphics, captions, and hashtags. Now, I want to be honest about the timing. This whole process took around 10 minutes in real time, so I'm speeding it up here. It was not instant, but the comparison is not 10 minutes versus nothing. The comparison is 10 minutes versus briefing someone, waiting for graphics, writing captions, finding hashtags, saving files, uploading them, and scheduling everything manually. And while it is generating, this is the part that matters. It's building the first draft of the social media workflow, not just one caption. It is preparing the content pieces that normally take time to pull together separately. Once it finished, I had something I could actually review inside the dashboard. That is the useful part. The first version was there, graphics, captions, hashtags, and content ready to check. Now, this is the part I actually care about. It didn't just give me vague post ideas. It created actual social media content I could review inside the dashboard. For a business owner, the graphics are a big part of the saving. That's usually where things slow down, making them yourself. Waiting for drafts or paying for basic designs every month. It also drafted the captions. I wouldn't publish every word blindly, but as a first draft, this removes a lot of blank page work. And it added hashtags too, so you're not starting from scratch there either. This is the bit I wanted to show properly. In the prompt, I asked for 5 days of posts and told it they could start from next week. So when I go into the scheduling area, the dates are already prepared. That matters because normally this is another manual step. You create the graphic, copy the caption, upload the image, choose the platform, then sit there deciding which day each post should go out. Here, the content is not just created, it is already moving towards a posting schedule. I would still check the dates, times, captions, and graphics before publishing. But having the posts already laid out for the week saves a lot of the planning admin. That is where this starts to feel useful for a real business, because it removes every decision, because it gets you from blank page to planned content much faster. For this test, I only asked it for 5 days of posts. That was deliberate. I wanted to see if the output was actually usable before asking it for a bigger batch. But once you were happy with the style, you could ask it for more. You could ask for a full week, 2 weeks, or even a month of draft content. I would still be careful here. I would not generate a huge batch and publish everything blindly. I would start with a few posts first, check the graphics, check the captions, make sure the tone fits the business, and then scale it up. that is where the time saving becomes much bigger. Because once the AI understands the business and the kind of content you want, you are not starting from zero every week. This is why I would not look at this as just another AI content tool. Yes, creating the posts is useful. Yes, having the dates prepared is useful. But the bigger value is that HighLevel is also where your contacts, conversations, workflows, follow-up, and analytics can live. So if someone comments, replies, books a call, or becomes a lead, that activity does not have to sit in a completely separate place. And the whole thing is sitting inside the same dashboard instead of being spread across 5 different tools. And that's why the saving is not just one post, it's the time, money, and stress it can take out of the whole weekly content process. In this test, I'm only showing Facebook, but HighLevel Social Planner also works with platforms like Instagram, LinkedIn, TikTok, YouTube, Pinterest, Google Business Profile, and Threads. So even though I'm showing one platform here, the bigger point is that this workflow is not just limited to Facebook, but that is not the reason I would test it. The reason I would test it is because it gets you from a blank page to a usable first draft much faster. The graphics are started, captions are drafted, the hashtags are there, dates are prepared. You still need to check the captions. You still need to make sure the posts sound like the actual business. And here's what makes this different from every other software trial you've ever signed up for. HighLevel's own coaches run a live session every single weekday on Zoom. They walk you through the entire setup step by step. You just show up and follow along, guessing, watching tutorial videos at midnight. Just a live person showing you exactly what to do. This 30-day bootcamp helps you automate your social media inside GoHighLevel, one task per day, so you can save time, stay consistent, and stop doing everything manually.